William Randolph Hearst was a huge man with a tiny voice, a shy man who was most comfortable in crowds, a war hawk in Cuba and Mexico, but a pacifist in Europe, an autocratic boss who could not fire people, a devoted husband who lived with his mistress, a Californian who spent half his life in the East. The son of a 49er emigrant from Missouri who had made millions by digging in the earth, Hearst did not identify with those who had inherited wealth or social position. He considered himself a self-made man because, like his father and his mother, he invented himself as art collector, builder, journalist, publisher, and politician. His ambitions were limitless, but so too were his talents and resources. He was in all things defined by contradiction, larger than life. When Hearst was in college, he wrote his father that he intended to do something in publishing and politics, and he did, becoming San Francisco's, then New York's, and finally the nation's most powerful publisher. He served 2 terms in Congress, came in second in the balloting for the Democratic presidential nomination in 1904, and was, for half a century, a major force in American politics, at the national, state, and local levels. He was also one of the 20th century's greatest spenders. Fortune magazine in 1935 reported that his art collections were worth at least $20 million, $250 million in today's currency, and his ranches, mines, orchards, and packing plants another $30 million. His real estate holdings in New York City were assessed at $41 million. He was, according to Fortune, the city's #1 realtor. There has never been, nor most likely will there ever be again, a publisher like William Randolph Hearst. The chief, as he was known by those who worked for him, built the nation's first media conglomerate by extending his newspaper empire horizontally into syndicated feature, photo, and wire services, magazines, newsreels, serial, feature, and animated films, and radio. With each triumph, his sense of omnipotence swelled. The opportunities were limitless for expanding his empire and his audiences, and he capitalized on every one of them. Decades before synergy became a corporate cliché, Hearst put the concept into practice. His magazine editors were directed to buy only stories which could be rewritten into screenplays to be produced by his film studio and serialized, reviewed, and publicized in his newspapers and magazines. He broadcast the news from his papers over the radio and pictured it in his newsreels. He was as dominant and pioneering a figure in the 20th century communications and entertainment industries as Andrew Carnegie had been in steel, J. Pierpont Morgan in banking, John D. Rockefeller in oil, and Thomas Alva Edison in electricity.